Hello and welcome to another in-bed reading series. I'm Jason. I'm going to read you some poems, some of my own poems tonight. I was supposed to read an Erie with good friends of mine, John Dorsey, Luke Kuzmich, Victor Clevenger, etc. And, well, that couldn't happen. I hope everybody is staying safe and staying well. And I'm going to read you some poems here instead. So this first one is called Time is Dead. Time died 3 weeks ago. It went quietly, no friends or family by the bedside, no obituary, no news, no soundbite. I heard a reputable source say it had been terminal for an undefined period. What killed it is unsure. Autopsy inconclusive. It had stretched thin since the Industrial Revolution, when people were lined up at the nearest clock, told they should punch it, that if they did, they'd be given value and meaning, although that value was never actually commiserate with the value they'd previously held. Seems strange now that time is dead. How strangers are lost without it. They walk streets enjoying sun, confused without structure, every second evaporating into something now nameless, something shuddering without definition, trying to establish whether to grieve or put another system in its place. Time is dead. Time is dead. The future is uncertain, if only because its past meaning can't be retained. Time is dead. Freedom for all of us. This is a short poem. It's called Working Poor Pretend. I didn't have anything smaller, so I put a 20 in the dollar changer at the laundromat, and it rained quarters for nearly a full minute. I was rich during that time, all that silver drained out over a slot machine eternity. This next poem is for Carl Coucher, who I was supposed to read with a couple weeks ago. It also just appeared in the latest issue of Thimble magazine, literary magazine. So this is called Catch and Release for Carl Coucher. When I worked in a diaper factory, we would leave our hearts hanging by the time clock as we picked our earplugs up. Sometimes after 12 hours, we forgot it still hung there. Standing in an abandoned factory, dandelions coming up in seeds and yellows through cracks in the pavement, I think about nightly nosebleeds. I think about machines, the sermons of humans lost in the perfection of mass production. Automation means there's no need for this place. Automation means there's no need for us. Still our hearts haunt with time clock ghosts. These streets vibrant once in afternoon rain, morning mountain shadows burned out neon. The great American novel is pages and pages of for rent signs. This bar is a pill coated in wood paneling, ancient cigarette smoke breathing out of the walls. A $5 old fashioned, heavily poured, burns all the way down. Around here, we don't have past lives. Around here, all we have left is decay. I ease into my second, quiet in the call of backless bar stools. The light on my phone blinks. It brings me back from the noise of the line, the plastic bags stretched over metal, the velocity of diapers catch and release, the smell of plastic seared clothes, cotton in the 3 a.m. air. Is it snow globe or a blizzard? This is a postcard from the Flint Hills of Kansas. Short poem. It's from my Blind into Leaving chapbook. Postcard from the Flint Hills. The earth was never flat. There are no dark spots on the map with the inscription, "There be monsters." I know this for certain. I've been spinning in circles on a bluff in the Flint Hills of Kansas for all eternity. I've memorized every massive sky, every shade of blue. I've named every cloud. When I close my eyes and hold my breath to fall through the water of space, I know there is nothing in the universe that will ever catch me. Another road poem. This is called Spook the Horse. The waitress offers a 50-cent bounty on every fly dropped. The Cothance River runs through my head. A pit bull sits patiently, waits for any lost scrap. Goose Island, covered in halos. One fog obscures the ocean. Words, fat, beautiful, and gray, hang over the sky. Words like Demarascata, Skadumpha. Words that no longer belong to a tongue. And if I close my eyes, I'm lost in a Wyeth painting. Rafters of turkeys, cemeteries materialize from nowhere. Buggies wave along Blinn Hill vistas. I slow down. I don't want to spook the horse. Let's do a poem from Everyone's Alone Tonight. Let's see just what happens when I open this up. Postcard from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. There's a fight outside the Dollar General. Somebody punched somebody. Everybody was screaming, "Broken noses blossom." The party plays Blair's Happy Birthday to an empty street. They sell bread in the St. Vincent de Paul, day old or expired, for a quarter. Everything here costs a quarter, and still there's nothing I want. There are 3 Italian restaurants around town, and the waitress smells like Christmas, and I can't tell if she was born in 1952 or she died in 1952, but somehow she's still here. And maybe that's just how it is when you watch another version, and another version, and another version of your life crumble. All right. Death Cult Blues. I am a man living in a failed state run by an insignificant man. A man who was backed in a bid for power by a death cult. Death cults are all the rage in dying empires, in dying republic, where hope gives way to divination and magic. There is a death cult that counters the death cult in power, but they have been abused, drained of any countermeasure or balance by their own want for power, for money. This death cult is ossified in a mantle of false hope. These death cults are reported on for profit and ratings by a death cult that sells narratives stale and binary, narratives breaking information into bytes, memes, fractions of unreality. These death cults are owned by merchants of death. They were called that 100 years ago when they made their first great sacrifice of 40 million dead. They have made many more. They are a death cult. They believe in alchemy. They turn blood into money. They write history. They write religion. History is not important in a death cult. History is co-opted. The story of gilded ages, of robber barons, of criminal heroes, the benevolent rich, false narratives without end. Religion is imperative in a death cult. You must believe your bloodshed is your reward. You must accept the exploitation of your waking life as necessary to keep the death cult fed. You must understand there's a great magical land after your plight ends. Behave, you beautiful victims, behave. I am a man, a citizen of a failed state, manipulated by a death cult, taught to sell my life, my time, for a happiness I may die before I enjoy. I must die to enjoy. I am insignificant. I reap no rewards. All I may have is my freedom. All I want is my life to live, free from programming, free from manipulation. I believe in life. I am exhausted by fear, by death. I am a man, a human organism interconnected to billions more. I only want to be free. I'll do 2 more poems for you. Keep it short. This is a poem called Fuck You, Jay Gatsby. A squall to stop midnight's strong hearts, although the fury is barely an inch. I offer her a ride to her car, out of the bar. Let's start over. Let's just start that whole poem over. It'll be fine. It'll be great. You won't even notice it. You will, actually, but that's fine too. This is called Fuck You, Jay Gatsby. A squall to stop midnight's strong hearts, although the fury is barely an inch. Out of the bar, snow globe streetlights, and I offer her a ride. She says she has to go to her car. Her car, where she lives now, although she sleeps with a man she thought she had something with. Now it's just a bed she goes back to when there's nowhere. Tonight there is nowhere. Tonight there is snow. We glide downhill, laughing our asses off. Times is hard. Hell, we've been laughing for years, ever since Regent Square Apartments, up till 4, drinking and giggling. Shit. The times never got any better anywhere or Scioto Street. She grabs 2 sweaters against the cold, boots, and then abandons boots. Alcohol braces wind chill. It's hard to believe it's December. It's hard to believe one's life fits in a trunk. It's hard to believe a college degree ain't getting anyone anywhere. It's paper. There's no money in it. There's no money in anything. We scrape our change to laugh. Gatsby's abandoned children lost, and America, the beautiful, nowhere. Earlier, she said if it was summer when she took her last final, she would have driven until the car died and called wherever home. And I think about North Carolina afternoons, waiting out storms and pizza shops, talking about how the dead they don't come back, and how it never gets any easier to whistle with Cottonmouth. We slide uphill, the last buses whine through wires, electronic voices, canned stops, U-turns, wipers push off snow, the road a tenuous ice world. South Pacific, and she gets out, the snow to swallow her. With door creaks or in the wind through the vents, I swear I hear something rasp. Fuck you, Jay Gatsby. This last poem is for Bart Solarchek, and love and condolences to Bart and Mar. Yeah, this is for you, Bart. Postcard from Seawall, Maine. I ask the first rays of the rising sun to light my joint, and the sun happily obliged. All right, stay safe out there. We'll do another one of these next week sometime. But yeah, thanks for listening and cheers.